Hello, 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 YouTube and other Twitter mutuals and all that other fun stuff that I follow. Whether you're a video editor or otherwise, this video is meant for artists. So from an artist to other artists in general. The whole purpose of this video that I'm making right now is to address the issue with coming forward with your problems, facing them, and making the steps to fix those problems. The biggest problem I see that people face today, currently, is the issue of stagnation and fear of progress. It's one of the things I deal with myself a lot. I fear the idea of failing, so through that failure, or through that idea of failure, I don't produce. Stagnate. I'll sit and do nothing. I'll think about doing things for sure. I'll discuss with myself stories and concepts and character ideas that would be really cool if I went forward with them for once in my life. But the biggest issue is the fact that we don't do that when we have that sense of that worry and that fear that people are going to judge you for what you draw. And though there will be critics, there will be people who don't like the things that you produce, which a couple of my friends have expressed to me personally. That should not matter. The whole point of art is to express yourself, is to be able to take what you love, all of your passions, and your ideals, and your interests, and cohesively put that all together and express it through the medium that you want to, whether it's visual media, animation, stories, and writing, movies, whatever it is. You have to take every part of yourself that takes pride in that skill that you have, or the skill that you are building towards, and utilize it. Because if you don't, you're going to sit and you're going to fester and you're going to contemplate the what ifs. What if I won this specific contest that I just submitted my art to? What if I fail that contest? What if I don't win? How would I feel? Do I want to be prepared for that? Am I prepared for that? You face yourself constantly with these questions. And majority of them are usually negative if you are in the position that I am in currently. The biggest advice that I can give personally to someone that is facing these walls, these kind of blocks, and it's genuinely an art block of sorts, these emotional walls that you and barriers that you put up to prevent yourself from succeeding, you have to ignore them. You have to push past them. You have to keep moving forward no matter what odds are in your way. No matter what pushes back against you, even if the odds aren't in your favor, even if you're struggling as an artist and you're not seeing visual representation of your skill improving, you feel like you're in a hole. And we all face this kind of effect. It's called the Dunning-Kruger's effect. It was a psychological study that was done. I don't know all the details on it. The idea is that some artists will get this bias towards themselves, where they'll hit like an all-time low, but they're not going to recognize that they are hitting this peak of bottom. And they'll give themselves this inflated self-important view where, my art's good no matter what, and they won't take in criticism. They won't take in new advice to improve their art. The thing that sucks about this is it can actually happen in the opposite way as well, whereas your art is really good, but you can't see the flaws yet. Your eyes aren't prepared to adjust to the amount of skill that you've just obtained. So you kind of have to step back and learn the fundamentals a little bit and kind of pinpoint where you need to improve. And it's very hard to do, because on either side of the spectrum, you're blinded by this illusion of either self-importance or self-defeat, and it just crushes you, or inflates your ego. Either way, both sides of the spectrum are bad. You have to find that median. When it comes to art, there's a diagram too, where everybody has this pitfall, And there's a line where you have your artistic eye and where your skill actually is. And those lines are never really close to each other until one very specific point. And at that point, when they intersect and they're on the same spectrum, you have this sense of fulfillment. My art is great. I recognize my flaws, and I'm also recognizing where I improved at. But as soon as you hit that peak, you're going to dive once more, and you're going to keep doing that for the entirety of your entire career as an artist. That's what we do. We are constantly going through pitfalls, constantly learning new things, and constantly adapting to every given situation. That is what it means to be an artist, to constantly learn and constantly improve. Keep moving forward. That's why I follow that quote or that proverb. It's not just from Monty it's also from Frederick, which it stands for essentially stagnation is death. To not improve and to not look at yourself and take those flaws and those aspects and attempt to create solutions to fix them, you will remain still and you will die. And it's unfortunate because it's very different types of death. It can be an ego death. It can be a death of motivation, death of the author, where you just don't step away from something because you just have to keep inserting and change things, and eventually you just lose the story. Well, that's the opposite of death the author. Death the author is where the author is like removed, but there's instances where, like J.K. Rowling, for example, and this is just my personal opinion, but she keeps going back and changing things, and all more power to her. It's her story. She can do that, but fans don't like it. And sometimes you have to listen to your critics. Sometimes you have to listen to your fans because they're the ones that are buying your content. They're the ones that are reading and picking up communities and forming their own stories with your story. You have to make it accessible for others, and you have to listen. You always have to keep your ears open, because if you close yourself off, you will never improve. The only real reason I wanted to make this video, though, is because not only is it for myself, it's for a lot of my friends who I've been seeing, unfortunately, stagnating themselves, and they'll just keep repeating these negative aspects and putting up excuse after excuse after excuse to why they don't want to do this specific thing, why they don't want to draw this type of style that they personally enjoy because of others' opinions or their own sense of self-esteem being really low, or maybe they think that everybody else is wrong and have this idea that no matter what they do, their art is great, even if it doesn't look great in the eyes of others. You have to really kind of pick apart every little critic that you get and try to be in their shoes instead of being in your own. That's how you improve. That's how you connect with people. And it's how you relate. And that's a big thing when it comes to art. You have to make it, relatable in a way. On that front, that's just going off on another tangent. Just listen to people. Sit down, discuss with others, see if anybody else can see flaws in your art that you personally can't see. When they point them out for you, take that advice, but don't take it to heart. Take it as, this is another perspective. They have different eyes than I do, and they see art differently. And that's actually a very real statement. I personally am very colorblind on the red-green spectrum. It's a that word. I can't say that word. But it's that. And, I have an issue when it comes to red and greens, and I have to have them to be oversaturated if I want to see the color that everybody else is going to see. But unfortunately, because of that, I have to set my screen, that my actual display, to that saturated mode, so that when I do select those actual colors, they are presented in a way that everybody else sees in the same way. I have to make accommodations for my disability. I'm not going to just sit by and draw desaturated photos. No, I'm gonna take in the fact that I have to overcome this specific part of myself and find ways to fix it. That's the best way And the best thing that you can do to improve your art is listening, looking at yourself introspectively, and taking action on that. And that's all I ask for people. You know, I build this community with just a small group of friends because I want to see you all improve. I want to see you all succeed in reach your goals. And it's hard to do that when you have such different minds dealing with different issues. So the biggest thing that I can say is just look out there, listen as much as you can, listen to people like Adam Duff. They're really great artists. You have Keenan Lafferty that I listen to as well. He does great tutorials. There's just so many people out there that are willing to help you for free even. And if you even reached out to them and asked them, you know, hey, Adam Duff, I just made this piece. I know there's something wrong with it, but can you tell me? Can you pinpoint something that I can't see personally? And then take that and use it. Just don't fester and sit on those problems, because you'll never improve if you do. You're just going to be bitter and stagnate, and you'll reach art block after art block after art block, and you'll never want to draw because you're scared of drawing, you're scared of failing, you're scared of making those same mistakes. But the whole point of art is to continue to make mistakes, use those mistakes to your advantage, and produce and produce and produce, and just keep going. You know, keep moving forward, as they say. So just do what you can, keep drawing, have fun. If you like this video, I very much appreciate if you guys subscribed. Hit that like button if you want to see more of my content. I will be producing more stuff like this. This is more just kind of like a personal thing that I wanted to do for others. I am still kind of planning the idea of maybe doing a little bit more speed paints, as well as releasing a little bit more Patreon content. Unfortunately, that's been on hiatus, and I do apologize for anybody that has subscribed to my Patreon. I have been really slacking on creating that speed paint video, and this is partly why I made this video, to let you guys know I also have my own issues. I gotta deal with myself and, you know, battle my own battles, but I just don't want anybody to battle them by themselves. So with that said, have a great day, guys.